Welcome back today to a brand new video. This is episode number 10 or whatever. Can't actually remember. I think it's actually episode number 7, sorry. And it's modern car versus classic car. This is the series where we take modern cars and we put them up against classic cars, or Formula 1 cars from the past, as it says down there. And as you can see, well, as some of you may know, this weekend is the legendary, one of the most classic Grand Prix on the calendar. It's the British Grand Prix, and quite honestly, it's one of the most important Grand Prix circuits to most teams, because most of the teams, I think it's 7 out of the 10 teams based in Formula 1, actually create their cars in Great Britain, and that means then we have got a lot of British cars to get through, which include Mercedes, Red Bull Racing, Williams, Force India, Renault, Haas and McLaren. And they are all your British cars or not British cars necessarily, but they're all your cars that were built in Britain. In terms of your true British cars, realistically, we've only got McLaren and Williams. So really, the battle of the British is between McLaren and Williams, really. But, as I said, these cars here not only have some British drivers, but they were built in Britain. For instance, Mercedes were built in Brackley up in Northamptonshire, Red Bull here in Milton Keynes, and Williams, they were built somewhere in Britain, I can't remember exactly where. Force India built near Silverstone, Renault built in Enstone, Haas built somewhere up north somewhere up north and over, not too far away from Silverstone once again. McLaren built in Woking. And like I said, these are your British teams. So that's your British cars, and then we've got the selection of classic cars, of course. We've got the McLarens, of course, the William, and another William, another McLaren, one more Renault, another McLaren, and a Red Bull. So there are all your classic British cars. First up though, we're going to start with the slowest cars. We're not going to use any custom setup. We're going to start with classic cars in Britain. Now, the way I'm going to do this, because usually I do it car by car or car versus car, basically what I'm going to do, I am going to say the 2 quickest cars from each group will go up against one another, and basically we will see out of the last 4 cars, so basically this will be a qualifier for the final, and basically the final will see which of the 2 cars out of each category. So out of the classic cars, my prediction is that the Red Bull RB6 will go through, and I reckon the Renault or the 2008 car will go through, but we're going to have to wait and see. That's my prediction. Reason why I say that is because it's the most likeliest prediction. So sit back, enjoy a lot of F1 talk for the next half hour. Remember, the Grand Prix does start at 2 PM, so this video will be definitely, I'll try to make sure it is finished by 2 PM at the latest. Because yeah, so just going to pause it here for a minute, and I'm just going to quickly show you a quick onboard of this car. So as you can see, that's the steering wheel sort of thing, as you can see. And I think this is the 1988 McLaren. Yeah, it is. I definitely know it's the 1988 McLaren. And as you can see, quite a small car, not as large as them. Not as large as the big cars. However, what a fat rear wing. That's going to cause a lot of drag and slow us down. But that's really what we need in one of these cars, because the aerodynamics is such an appalling thing. It's non-existent. But these cars are so fun to drive. And quite honestly, the level of grip you get from this car is unreal. As you can see, Shell sponsoring and Honda by the famous Honda Japanese company, which Red Bull will be Honda powered next year actually. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. This car did win the World Championship, the 1988 I think this is, or 89. can't remember. They all look the same back then, just like they do nowadays. But anyway, off on the lap we go, and here we go then. Right, we've basically taken a spin. I did say here we go then, and we've taken a spin. That is the first spin of the day. Now, to minimise the time on this video, each car only has 2 laps to perform at the best, or 2 half decent attempts. No going over that today, and that is that. Right now, that's if we can even get attempting. Right now, we can't even make it past the first corner, well, the last corner technically. I'm not going to name half of the corners because I don't even know half of the corners' names. I just know some of them. I know this one's club, or we're coming through the club section anyway. Right, a little bit easier on the power that time, and away we go on our hopefully flying lap. Now, don't expect any miracles then here today, because this car is an old car, and right now, so, right, oh dear. Right. I'm pretty sure this is the Wellington Straight here, so, yep, this is 99.9% sure this is the Wellington Straight. And then this is the old pit straight, because that's the old pit entry here. So we go past this old pit straight here, where they used to race from. And then this corner here, practically flat out, even in one of these cars. Not quite having the confidence through there. Through Maggots and Beckett's now, the sequence of corners. One of the best sequence of corners on the F1 calendar. And it's so nice to drive, especially on this game. And quite honestly, I know that you're probably all going to laugh when I say this, but you can almost get the sensation of an orgasm through there, which is quite a weird expression and figure of speech, but it's a very, very lovely feeling, I think, through that sequence of corners. Right, hold it nice. Oh, and that's an invalid lap. So right, we're going to have a second attempt then at the circuit, and we'll see if we can do a validated lap. But it was a good attempt, first attempt than that, and quite honestly, it was alright. So this is the second and final attempt. So if we don't master it this time, then yeah. Right. So luckily that wasn't an invalid lap there. Right, that's alright. Right, down the hanger straight. Great for the final corner. Or final two corners, right. Just gotta get this right. which we have, and it's a 144.7 then 8.6, so that's a decent lap. Hopefully we can go better in the next car and have a better 2 attempts. Right, so there we go then. Just brake the car, stop it somewhere around here, stop it on the pit entrance, or pit exit, sorry. Right, there we go. So that's the 1988 McLaren, I believe, or 1981 McLaren. So that will obviously go top of the leaderboard in the classic section, and next on to the 1991 McLaren. Of course, you know, don't expect it to stay on top. Of course, you know, as we, you know, probably didn't do maybe the finest lap, and it is quite hard. I expect from a 1991 McLaren that we will probably get a better lap in. Right, as you can see, I'm just going to pause the video once again here. Well, not pause the video, but pause the action. And it's a lot better, this car, aerodynamically. Lot thinner rear wing at the back, as you can probably tell already. And the design shape of the car is a lot better, a lot more crisper. But in terms of the front tires, I think they're a little bit narrower in terms of the width. And maybe a little bit shorter in terms of the height. The rear wheels seem pretty large to me and still seem pretty huge. But in terms of the front, they don't seem that great anymore. Right, anyway, on to the lap. And obviously you can see a lot more of the front wing. In terms of from the cockpit, I think you can see less of the front wing. But this car certainly does feel very good to drive. And it sounds brilliant, this car. No problem through there. Right, can we take this corner flat? No, not quite. Now, one of the things that you may notice between these cars and some of the more modern cars, look at some of the turns and just listen to how the engine is. Because then certain turns will be taken absolutely flat. Like through there, obviously having to use a little bit of brake. Right. So obviously we're going to have a second attempt. Because obviously this lap is an invalid lap. But already, straight at the blocks, and that would have gone quicker. Right, that was 100% commitment through there. Oh no, yeah, at least it's not invalid. Right, this is a very quick lap, in fact. This is quicker than our last. Maybe by 1 or 2 seconds. very tiny bit later. And what's this? It's a 142.1. So very good. So that's the second car out of the way, the McLaren 1991. And as you can see, a lot better than there. We 100% was full on it there. And I gave it my all. And we went and did a 142.1. So very, very good lap then there. That's about a 2-second improvement. But now onto the 1992 Williams. So obviously right now, as you can see, as the year goes up, the cars are just getting faster and faster. And what will the 1992 Williams do? Will that go any faster? How much faster, if so? And as you can see, once again, similar aerodynamics, maybe a bit better body shell, but otherwise, the car looks practically the same. In terms of tyres, these tyres feel a whole lot fatter. The grip feels so much better, and in terms of the way this car accelerates, it's certainly faster. Better engine, better everything. It just feels like this car comes alive. Now, in terms of can we go flat, not quite once again. So having a small lift through there, but nothing dramatic. Right. So this is a very good lap here. It's a very decent lap anyway. Right. In terms of how much we're up, well, we're doing pretty damn decent. 8 seconds, so we're about up by 1 second here, or 2 seconds at least. I'd say we're at least up by 1. Right, final few corners to negotiate. Bit wide on the final corner, but it's a 141.8. What? No, sorry, a 141.1. So that's about, as I said, a second worth of improvement than there, and that was a very good lap time, I thought, there from the car, and that is pretty decent. So that will take obviously a top spot then on this classic car versus modern car. I wouldn't expect many of the classic cars to go through, I will tell you that, as I said earlier, and I'll keep on repeating that, but at the end of the day, as you can see, very, very good lap time nonetheless, and a 141, so about 9.67 tenths of a second between, and already the distance between the last one, well, the 1988 is 3.6 seconds, so 3.6 seconds is the difference. That's huge per lap. That's quite a monumental difference in the space of 4 years. 3 seconds, wow. Right, anyway, on to the next one, and the 1996 Williams once again. And as you can see, Williams is a popular British car, and quite honestly, this is one of the faster cars in the Formula 1 game and in the Formula 1 world in real life. As you can see, a lot better, different aerodynamics and entirely, and you can tell this car looks better in terms of speed wise. In terms of the shape of the car, as once again, it's a bit better. It's like the car's been elevated and built longer as well. And in terms of the tyres, they haven't really made them tyres any smaller, but they have obviously extended the size or the distance between the rear and front wheel. So obviously the rear to back is a lot bigger of a measurement, as I said once again. So yeah, it's a longer car. Lower downforce, maybe not. Is it faster? Maybe. Better aerodynamics? debatable, but certainly it's got a lot more design, and it looks much more like a modern Formula 1 car compared to the other Formula 1 cars that I've already shown you here today. So right, anyway, on with this lap. Then probably in Damon Hill's only and last World Championship winning car, then before he actually got sacked. And I believe he's the only driver in Formula 1 history to have been sacked after winning a World Championship. So yeah, that's obviously something to say. And flat out through there. Right, so 4 seconds down. Already, right, will we be able to take this corner flat? No, not quite. Tried it, just can't, because you just don't have that grip that really you need for the aerodynamics. Right, good, decent line through there. So we're right now about on par with the 1992 Williams. What we're gonna do, it's so close. A 140.932 then. So only a 0.3 improvement than there. I did say we were on par, and there we go. So despite the probably more power, despite maybe a little bit better of aerodynamics, that's only the equivalent to 0.3 and there, ladies and gentlemen. But it was enough to win the World Championship in 1996. So now on to the next one. And the next one is the 1988 McLaren. And this is probably the next big thing. The 1992 Williams the 1996 Williams was a jump. This is a leap between, this is genuinely a leap from the 1996 Williams to the 1998 McLaren. This car, I think, was the first of the V12 engines, and quite honestly was the start, really, or where Ferrari had their major success with Michael Schumacher, really, because this engine really was developed into the Ferrari engine that Ferrari created from 2004, from 2004, and from 2000 to 2004, and that really developed Ferrari's big success with Michael Schumacher. This engine, that's in the back of that McLaren. I'm not saying they use the McLaren engine, all I'm saying that the V12 engine was the most successful engine of all time for Ferrari. And quite honestly, the sound of this car and the aerodynamics of it, you can tell, is so much better than the 1996 Williams, and this is the next big leap, really. So I'd expect about a second or two improvement from this car, from the 1996 Williams. Remember that the 1996 Williams did a 140.9, so if I'm saying 1 second or 2 seconds, that's then a 1 something. Right, flat out through there. And you certainly could not do that in the other car. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that was my phone going off. Just my alarm. But anyway, back on with this lap. Right, that's a bit wide through there, not the best. But anyway, we'll still continue on with this lap. Ah, bull! Right. So, right, one more attempt to get this spot on. Alright, clean tyres. I'm on. Quite honestly, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to restart it. Because, yeah, need a bit of performance. Need clean tyres. Have full confidence through there. Right, anyway, on with this lap then. Attempt number 2. Not quite flat out this time. Keep doing the same mistake through there. Keep running wide by a tad, literally. This car ain't as nice to drive through the Maggots and Beckett section, I think. It's a bit more slidey, this car. Not a big fan of that. Lewis Hamilton would be, because he likes slidey cars, whereas I like a bit more front end grip. Alright, anyway, and it's a 140.4, there we go. So that will go to the top of the leaderboard and will replace the 1996 McLaren. Not McLaren, Williams, sorry. So, right. That is the first V6 hybrid V6 V12 engine. Then there. So right, next on to the Renault 2006. Fernando Alonso's second or double World Championship winning car. This really won Fernando Alonso's his last World Championship. Since then, Fernando Alonso has gone on to win virtually nothing in terms of a championship. Very good car. But quite honestly, I reckon Sebastian Vettel could have won the championship if he was in this car. So could have Lewis Hamilton, quite honestly. This was above the rest. And quite honestly, he was lucky to win. Right, anyway. Flat out through there, we're going to restart. Because it's invalidated our lap. Even on the first, not even on the first corner really. Well, it is the first corner, but I don't really class turn 1 as a corner anymore. It's more of a straight, because as you can see, if you can go flat out around a corner, how is that a corner? It's more of a straight. Let's get it right. Like, as you can see, flat out. Like, that's not a corner, that's a straight. Like, and then your next straight starts here. So that ain't a corner, even in the other cars. Cody's. Fucking come on, actually. Right, that is bullshit. I am sorry there. That is absolute bullshit. Right, all four wheels, yes, were over the white line. However, it wasn't as bad as the whole car being over the line. And in fact, if you rewind this video, you will see what I mean. On some cars, I think the 1991 McLaren, all four wheels were over the curb, for God's sake, on that Astro. And I get a disqualified lap just for putting all four wheels over the line. Not like I've gained any time, jeez. Come on. Okay, the track limits is that white line, but come on, Cody's. That is actually one thing that does need to be addressed for F1 2017, is going over the white line. I think, realistically, it should be if you've gained significant time, then you should get the penalty. Because that is how they work it in Formula 1. If you gain a significant amount of time through leaving the track, then you will receive a penalty. Not if you go over the white line, because otherwise every single driver would receive a penalty at one stage in the race. Because I guarantee you today, at least once in the race, each driver will go across the track limits, as they call them. And if I really wanted to, I wouldn't go over there, trust me. I know much better places where I can gain time. Like here, there. Here's a really good place. Go over there, bang, just clip that curb there. Gain a sheep load. And you can see that's just flat out through there, flat out through here, almost. And you're flat out right the way down this straight. So it's almost like this circuit is just straight, really. It's more of a drag race rather than anything else. Alright, next lap, final lap then on this car. What did I do anyway last lap? Fuck knows. Not like it matters, because it was a invalid lap according to Cody's. Is that invalid? Right, let me have a look. What did we get the invalid lap for? Invalid lap time. Why is this one invalid? I never even gained anything. I'm pretty sure all four wheels were on the track there. Come on. Oh, maybe I did cut a little bit there. Yeah. If they took that one off me for that, that's fair enough. Yeah. Right, final lap. I think they actually invalidated my lap anyway for the last lap. I'd actually have to go back and look at that in my own video. Pretty sure they invalidated it for running a wide a little bit there. 99.9% sure. Like, at the end of the day, this ain't gonna beat any records. Let's admit that, Codies. So why invalidate people's laps? Is this gonna set a new world record? Right. See, that was right there. That's what I mean. Like, right. That. How is that not invalid? In fact, how would that not be invalid? All four wheels are over the white line, as you can see. Just a quick point. And now, all four wheels are back on the track. Surely the game should be invalidating it for that, not for a small mistake at turn 2 or just running marginally off track. Because a marginal gain won't gain you anything. That's my belief. Still, let's stop complaining because everyone's gonna now leave us bad comments down in the comment section for being complaining. Oh dear, that, I don't know how that wasn't even invalidated there. Having said that, that was certainly off. I just want to show you. Sorry about all these things. Just making a point here. Right. All four wheels are over that white line, as you can see, and somehow it's not invalid. So, this game is, how can you put it, a bit delusional? Right, anyway, a 136.1 then, so that's about 4 seconds quicker, and there we go. Right, gotta go on to 2008. We're gonna shorten this to now 1 lap shootout, if that makes sense. So, right, here we go anyway. So yeah, obviously, bit of, how can you put it? Just a bit, you know, of inaccuracy here. So, right, anyway, on to lap number 10 now. Right, the 2008 McLaren, Lewis Hamilton's first World Championship winning car. His last one, 2017. And this car is quite honestly like a spaceship. Hitting top speed now. So this could be one of the quickest laps we've done all day, flat out. Almost just using a bit of engine braking through there, really. No! Right on the last moment, Jeez. We were that close from completing the lap. Obviously went for a quick, went to do a bit of lawn mowing. Quite honestly, that is what I fancied. I didn't fancy doing anything else really, apart from a quick bit of lawn mowing. Just to let you know though, I did notice something. The T-wings have been used in the past in Formula 1, just to let you know. So this car's got one. I'll just show you where exactly. If we have a look on the back, this car actually has a very thin T-wing. You can't see it exactly, you have to come from this angle. As you can see, a T-wing. Quite low down. And it has also a short wing. Just thought I'd let you know that. This car actually has a T-wing. Anyway, back onto the lap. Right, third attempt, sort of. Last corner. Caught us out. It's caught us out quite a few times, that last corner. In these classic cars. Something about it. So, pretty decent. Whoa! Losing a bit of a grip there, but regaining it successfully. See, there is just no challenge there in terms of how you take that corner. Just none whatsoever. Literally. I think this track, it's a very lovely track, but it is a bit outdated. Like, is it really a challenge, even for a gamer, to be able to... Like, 134.6, I'm not saying, like, I'm not... What I'm saying is, this track, quite honestly, if it did leave the calendar in 2019, and 2019 was the final Grand Prix, would I miss it? Yes. Would I, though, think it's a bit old? And would I agree that this track's a bit outdated? I would. I think this track is outdated for its age. Right, anyway. On to lap 11 now, and here we go. That, through that. See if, like, that corner I could take flat out. That's pathetic. Take that one flat out. Take this one flat out. Take this one flat out. Soon you'll be able to take every single corner, and I promise you this. Flat out around here. 133.2 then around a circuit which is practically flat out. There we go then. Right, now onto the modern cars. So yeah, that was dominated really by the two cars. Right, anyway, onto McLaren Honda. So right, our winner is the Red Bull. Second place goes to the McLaren. Now time to go on to the more modern cars, see what they can do. I reckon they'll probably thrash the classic cars, quite honestly, because this circuit's all about engine, and quite honestly, no longer about the corners, because that's one thing I will criticise this Silverstone circuit for. It's a very, very lovely circuit, but what is the point of it if it's all about the if it's all about how fast you can go with your engine? Like, this is a track really that really, if you don't have the engine, you're not going to be able to win. Right, anyway, first lap, time to go. Flat out through there, as you can see, up into 8. Braking nice. See, can final few corners here, and what will it be? It's a 134.4, so that's alright lap then there. 6 more cars to come, and then that's the end of this video. But quite honestly, that was a very flat out lap. Virtually, honestly, every single corner's flat here. Okay, you would argue, you can say the second one ain't, or the third one ain't, whatever you want to say. But let me just count how many corners is flat. So let's just count together. So we'll start at the start of the lap and we'll count at the end. So this is a Ferrari powered car, but the car is actually built in Britain. So here we go. Anyway, so up the hill towards turn 1, which is flat out, as you can see, not lifting a bit. Turn 2 is flat out, but turn 3 we're braking for. Turn 4, once again, tiny bit of the brakes, but not much. Turn 5, as you can see, flat out again. So we're just using right now 100% power from the engine. Turn 6, bit of braking. Turn 7, once again a bit of braking. One of the most flat out corners on the circuit. Turn 8, I class as turn 8. Then turn 9, absolutely flat through here. Turn 10, 11, 12, well, flat as anything. It's like a flat Coke. 12 a little bit of braking, but 11 and 13's flat out. 14. Tiny bit of braking, not much though. And flat out now towards the line, and that's a 132.8 then from the Haas car, which is built in Britain up the road somewhere. It is actually American, so it's sort of actually American, Italian and Britain, or British should I say. So yeah, it's a multicultural car, this one, really, I would class it as. And quite honestly, one of the nicer cars actually. I did like the 2017 Haas. I thought it was a very, very sweet car indeed, and I think the 2018 is a bit better than that. Right, why am I restarting? I have no idea myself, quite honestly. Right, anyway, on to the next car, the Renault Sport. And this car is built at Enstone, which is down the road from Milton Keynes, practically, you could say. And quite honestly, this car is a pretty damn decent car overall. The car itself is pretty good, the 2017 Renault. But the thing is about the 2017 Renault, yeah, the thing about the 2017 Renault is it's not that great in general. Like, it was a bit slow. And this car feels the fattest of the cars in all. Like, every other car feels like it's been on a diet, if that makes sense. But this car feels very fat indeed. But anyway, let's see what it can do. The fattest car on the grid, I like to class this one as up towards turn 1, absolutely flat, no lifting there, and turn 2, absolutely once again flat. Brake down for turn 3, down into 3rd gear, then up into 4th, back down into 2nd, bit wide, doing a Lewis Hamilton there. But Lewis Hamilton yesterday just went wide on that corner all weekend, did not matter what lap it was, he was so wide, it was unreal. Bit wide through there once again, but actually that wasn't a bad line though. Right. Flatten out, and literally we're flat all the way to turn 12. Well, that's the theory anyway. So a small lift, so maybe flat all the way to turn 11 through there, that time. And this car feels so fat, it's unreal. Quite honestly, I don't know about you, but I'm very excited till F1 2018 comes out. Should be a brilliant game. Hopefully, coming out on the 24th of August, sorry. No, 24th, yeah, I think it's 24th of August. And yeah, hopefully it'll be a good game. Obviously, there's going to be some new modern cars and classic cars in it. Obviously, the latest 2018 cars in it. So that means I'll be able to do classic car versus modern car, theoretically. And I should be able to do it in the more modern cars, of course. That's what I'm trying to say. With the new Halo, of course, which quite honestly I think it's a pretty cool design, and hopefully it will be. But yeah, anyway. Right, flat out now, up the hill, and this got the Mercedes powered engine, so therefore, quite honestly, I'm expecting this car to do pretty decent lap around here. Right, flat out now, down towards turn whatever. wide through there. And we're now flat towards the line. Practically. The cars look so good though through here. In real life, they honestly do. And then they've got the T-Wing, or had the T-Wing last year of course, which looked amazing. Will we see any tyre issues this year, I wonder? Because last year, if you recall, we actually saw some tyre issues. The tyres were, you could say, exploding. No! Well, one lap, that's a rule. And somehow that is an invalid lap. I have no idea how that's invalid. Quite honestly. And there we go. Across the line. So that was the slowest car of them all. And I feel that's very unrepresentative, but the rules state we've only got one lap now. If that makes sense. So we can catch the British Grand Prix. Because it should be starting soon, actually. Very soon. Don't want to change over, of course, but yeah. Right. So the final few cars. So we've got Williams to come next. Right. So right now the Haas is the quickest. With the Force India being the slowest. But only because of that mistake, otherwise I reckon the Haas would have been eliminated sort of thing by the thing. Remember, the top two cars will come back later on this week and we will do a, what you call it. So, it's the McLaren and the Red Bull at the moment, from the classic cars, from this car, from this section of cars, it's not. Alright, come on, can we give the Williams a bit of hope? I would like to put a Williams in the top few. Come on, Williams. Please, get in the top few. Come on. Come on, Williams. I would love to get the Williams inside the top two. Because this Williams do deserve a bit of a break. It doesn't matter where you're from. I do think the Williams is in a bit of crisis at the moment. And quite honestly, I think they deserve a bit of a break. Now, is that quick enough to go second? I pray it was. Or first. So, that would have been nice. Obviously, even if they have a slow car. I do like Williams. I think Williams is... How can you put it? I think it's just, you know, no matter what... It's a bit like Ferrari, if that makes sense. Like, yes, that was enough to go quickest by 0.7 tenths of a second. But yeah, the point is, the Williams is a bit like the Ferrari. It doesn't matter. Like, if Mercedes left Formula 1, I think actually I could deal with it. But if Williams actually left Formula 1, it'd hurt a lot. And it'd be a bit like McLaren. You do want McLaren always to stay around in Formula 1. I think them teams are just so pinnacle to keep. Ferrari, Williams and McLaren, they are the foundation of Formula 1. And when you take out a foundation, it sort of breaks Formula 1. Right, anyway, I think this car's going to be quicker. That's my honest belief, because it is the Red Bull, and we do know what Red Bull have in their armory, of course. Through turn 1. Now, Red Bull's win last weekend at the Red Bull Ring was such an impressive win. I don't think it's going to happen here at Silverstone today. I've got that feeling. Am I right to have that feeling? Quite honestly, probably. I think a lot of you think that. If you do join, leave down a comment below who you think's going to win today's British Grand Prix. I think, quite honestly, it could be Kimi Räikkönen. Like, he would be, well, he does have a shot, I think, at winning today's Grand Prix. Obviously, I'm using no setup, so that's probably why we're a bit slower. And that's a 32.4. Now, was that slower than the Williams? If that is, that means Williams have booked themselves a place in the final 2 alongside the other Red Bull and the other Red Bull and the McLarens. So that would be a real upset, I think, if that is the case. I'm not too sure. Let's see. We're about to find out. Did Williams actually book themselves a place? Because that would have been genuine pace. Yes, they have. Williams will participate in the final next week of the British Grand Prix. Classic car versus modern car. As I said, if you joined earlier on in the video, the top 2 cars from each category out of the modern and the classics will go through to the next week to a final, and then the cars have 3 shots or 3 laps to get it right, and the Williams will participate in that, but did it by quite comfortably, in fact, 0.3 of a second. But now there's time for one last car. I expect this car to qualify. This is the car, really, I am expecting to qualify out of them all. The Mercedes, of course, last year's World Championship winning car. If it does not qualify, it would be a breaking story, I guess. But I just don't see that not happening at this moment in time. I reckon they will qualify. As you can see, they've got the best car. It looks the best. It probably sounds the best as well. And let's see what it can do, really. That's my question. Obviously, if a Ferrari was here, I'm pretty sure that would also take the top spot as well, or be up there. But obviously, this is only British cars that were either built in Britain or, you know, born British. And obviously, the Williams, born British. So, as you can see, 4 tenths down, 5 tenths down. Obviously, I doubt we're gonna... Oh dear, that's a bit wide, but nonetheless, we still managed to keep within. So this is really where this Mercedes will come into its own now, because this Mercedes has the power. Oh, a bit wide through there, but nonetheless able to keep it relatively good. And there we go. Bit wide, but we're gonna allow that wideness, because there you go, you can clearly see that's a 131.5. So there we go, the Williams and the Mercedes have qualified. Then there, I'm gonna allow that car to go that wide because I feel either way that did not gain me time. If anything, it lost me a lot of time, maybe about a tenth or two. So yeah, I'm gonna allow that obviously, and there we go. So that's, you know, of course, the situation then. So there we go. So the Williams and the Mercedes will go through. So 2 Mercedes powered cars, but more importantly, one of them, well, 2 of the cars next week I think, I don't know, I'm not gonna give a precise date of the final, but 2 of the cars are British in the final, like manufactured in Britain and were born British, and the other 2 cars are manufactured only in Britain, and are not British as such, but they have a history of being manufactured in Britain, because obviously Red Bull based in Milton Keynes, but they're an Austrian company, and Mercedes are German, of course, but the Formula 1 car is made in Brackley. So in fact, in a way, we're having a bit of a British versus German versus Austrian final, in fact. So a multicultural final, should I say, between the British, the Austrians, and the Germans. But realistically, all these cars were made in Britain. Thank you for watching. I hope you have had a good day. Oh, that's my arm clicking there. I hope you had a good day, as I said, once again. I hope you've enjoyed this video to an extent. Obviously, I hope it's not made you bored or anything. And I hope you enjoyed the British Grand Prix. Hopefully, Vettel will win for a second time in Britain or whatever. But let's wait and see. And maybe even Kimi Raikkonen could win. Who knows? He hasn't won since the end of 2013, and I would like to see him win, of course, again, but we have to wait and see. Thank you for watching, everyone. Let's hope Mercedes breaks down today, like Austria, but nonetheless, let's hope, more importantly, they're all safe once again. Have a good day, take it easy, see you next time.